What do you think our biggest needs are?
I think going into this recruiting cycle, after all the success in 2023, signing the number one class, and 5-star after 5-star after 5-star, you still have to build your O line and D line. You've got some great players on the offensive line, 5 offensive linemen, but you look back in the previous class, there was only 2 offensive linemen, technically 3, but one of them left, the program after a month or 2. So they only signed 2 offensive linemen. So yes, great offensive line class this year, 2023, but still got to build, still got to get 4 or 5 more offensive linemen. Still got to, grow that defensive line. There was a little bit of a drop off as far as depth on the defensive front. The last few recruiting cycles, they signed 4 really talented defensive linemen in this class, including the number 1 defensive lineman in the country, James Smith out of Carver in Montgomery. But you got to continue to build on there. So probably not a lot of in-state defensive linemen this year that they're really going to go after. Of course, last year it was a really deep defensive line unit. A couple of those guys ended up going out of state. Alabama was able to keep a couple kids in state, but probably going to have to look more out of state this year on the defensive line front. Then inside linebacker. I think inside linebacker is going to be very critical for Alabama in this recruiting class. There's 2 guys in state who have already been offered. So I think that, we could see some in-state inside linebackers. Sorry, I was getting a little tongue twisted there, but in-state inside linebackers, D'Angelo Barber at Clay Chalkville. I want to say Bradley Shaw at Hoover High School. These are 2 guys that have been offered over the course of the last month. So I think inside linebacker is certainly going to be a big position of need. And then cornerback. I think Alabama signed a 5-star corner last year in Desmond Ricks. They also landed Jahil Hurley, who could end up moving around in the secondary. We don't know if he's 100% going to end up in a corner. Could end up moving to safety, but I think corner is certainly going to be a big position of need. Major emphasis this year. 2-3 corners, for sure, in my opinion. Xavier Brown out of Mater Dei High School out in California. Corey and Gibson out of Texas. These are 2 guys who were in Tuscaloosa on January the 28th. Certainly some guys that they're strongly going to be recruiting, but they also have a commitment already from 5-star corner Jalen Mbakwe out of Clay Chalkville, the number 1 player in the state of Alabama. So already a great start there at corner, but they want to continue to build on that and add some more guys. So those would kind of be the big positions of need. Tight end also, they flipped Ty Lockwood last year. They got the Maryland transfer, C.J. Dupree, but still think tight end is going to be a pretty important position this year. One pretty intriguing player is a 6'7", 225-pound athlete out of McAdory High School, just outside of Birmingham. Ja'Cory Whitted, received an offer from Alabama a couple weeks ago. Lines up mainly as an outside wide receiver, so I'm sure Alabama wants to see him a little. And he's a great blocker on the outside, but I'm sure Alabama wants to see him a little bit more. But this is certainly a guy that I think could easily end up in the Tides class as maybe one of its tight end commits. So those are kind of the key positions of need, in my opinion: O-line, D-line, inside linebacker, corner, tight end. And over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're really going to be breaking that down on BamaInsider.com. Today we started with our breakdown of top in-state targets. Now, you're going to see a plethora of kids that are going to have offers. Whether that's in-state guys, you can look at a quarterback list, a running back list, and see, all the names of guys who are, being offered. But what does that mean? Do these kids have committable offers? Are they being heavily pursued? Do they need to come back to camp? Does the Alabama coaching staff need to see them in the spring? Or can they call Nick Saban right now and make that commitment to him? So we really kind of break that down to our subscribers on BamaInsider.com. So today, what we looked at is the top offensive in-state targets. So there's more in-state targets that have had offers and guys that we're actually talking about. So the guys that we're actually talking about on Bama Insider in our story today are the guys that Alabama is actually heavily pursuing right now, and guys that we're going to continue to watch in the coming months. And of course, the recruiting board, it changes just about every single week. So, you might have, one guy who is, a guy that can commit right now, and 3 months from now may not be able to have, may not have that chance. And, there might be somebody that we're not even talking about yet who's going to get that committal offer sometime this spring. But we kind of share where things are as it stands right now. And we're going to keep everyone up to date, up to speed over the course of the next several months.
Hey, what's good, fam? It's Kyle Henderson. Thank you very much for watching this video. Check out our other related content right here on Bama Insider. Be sure and like and subscribe, inching closer to 100,000 subscribers right here on Bama Insider.